Good morning, Britain. A ban on the forced installation of prepayment meters for the over 85 suppliers reportedly set up to sign up to a code of practice written by the regulator Ofgem.
Well, thousands of customers in the past have had prepayment meters forcibly installed, making those who are struggling with their bills even more vulnerable. So with these new rules announced at 7 o'clock, go far enough.
Rishi Sunak is investigated over a possible failure to declare shares that his wife holds in a childcare agency that was boosted by last month's budget.
New figures suggest patients have been left in some cases waiting more than 2 days for an ambulance in England. With industrial action continuing to impact the NHS, we have exclusive access to paramedics facing real pressures on the front line.
And putting the miles in for Babs, the EastEnders stars taking on the London Marathon in memory of their close friend and colleague, Dame Barbara Windsor. We'll be joined by Adam Woodyard and Tanya Franks, as well as Barbara's widow, Scott. That's after 8.
So when was the last time you posted anything about me?
Would that be something you'd be open to doing?
Absolutely not. It's professional suicide.
Plus, Game of Thrones star Kit Harington on filming couples therapy with his famous wife. He's actually working with the genius behind Love Actually, the director Richard Curtis, and we're going to speak to Kit and Richard live later in the show to find out what that's all about.
A cloudy start and then brightening up as we head through the day. I'll be bringing you the blue skies from the tower here at Battersea Power Station. All that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 18th of April, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Ed Balls.
Good morning, Britain. It has just gone 6 o'clock. Welcome to the programme. This morning we have this remarkable film about what it is actually like if you are in an ambulance and you're trying to get to someone who has called 999. It should be something that happens swiftly, and as we know, increasing pressure on the NHS means that too long people are waiting far too long for an ambulance. More than 2 days. I can't believe we can even say that. In some cases, people are waiting more than 2 days. Figures released show that in the Northwest, one patient waited 65 hours, 38 minutes and 13 seconds. My goodness, the seconds should really be the only time that people are waiting for a response to a Category 3 call. Now, that is classed as urgent but not immediately life-threatening. But that might be someone in the late stages of labour. You're in the late stages of labour and you might be waiting 2 days.
But there's also evidence there of Category 2 call-outs, which could be a heart attack or a stroke, where people are waiting not 1, 2, 3 hours, but 20 hours and more for an ambulance.
It's absolutely shocking. And we would like to know this morning, have you been in a terrible situation? Whenever we talk about this, people get in touch telling us, particularly, I would say, elderly people. If you have an elderly person in your life who's suffered a fall, because we see terrible stories of people waiting hours and hours when they're on their own and they've fallen. And the paramedic who we are going to talk to this morning says that's one of the hardest things that she has to deal with, knowing that, hours before her shift, she's been in bed comfortably, and then she wakes up and hears that she now has to go out to an elderly person who might have been lying on their bedroom floor for hours.
And there's also reports today that 196,000 operations were cancelled as a result of the doctor strike. And we'd also like to know if you've had direct experience where an operation, a procedure, has had to be postponed or cancelled because of the strikes which have been affecting the NHS, whether it's an ambulance not arriving or an appointment or procedure which didn't go ahead because of the strikes or other wider shortages. If you email, Facebook, text to us, then we can make sure that we put those issues to the government and to the opposition when we speak to them over the course of this programme in the coming days.
Yeah. Today's top story at 6:05 is that within the next hour this morning, the energy watchdog Ofgem is expected to announce that every single supplier in England, Wales and Scotland has agreed to strict new rules over installing prepayment meters. Now, vulnerable customers, including people over the age of 85 and those with terminal illness, will not have to switch to a prepayment meter under any circumstances.
Other measures will see people who are struggling to pay their bills given more time to clear their debts, and staff who are sent into people's homes will be ordered to wear body cameras. And Jonathan Swain's in Wimbledon at the home of Catherine Gass, who had a prepayment meter installed after running into money troubles. Jonathan's, this seems like a step forward, but people under 85 could still have forcible entry. And is it going to stop people with prepayment meters being left in the dark and the cold if they can't put money into the meter because they've run out of cash?